Hey.
Hey guys. All right. So let's see here. I'm not necessarily seeing anything on YouTube here.
I think.
Oh, there it goes.
There it goes.
It's a little bit delayed. It's about 3 to 5 seconds, maybe.
Let's turn the volume down.
Yeah, I'm getting an advertisement right now for you guys.
An advertisement.
Yes.
Is that so you say advertisement instead of advertisement, huh?
Yes.
It just sounds better.
Hey guys, we are back. Welcome back to Liz Fiero. We've got Wonderful World of Walter join us today. We've got Mark and Irene. Hey guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
We're great. Got our
our
letter mugs. Mark. M for Mark.
I love it.
Matterhorn. This is Matterhorn from Disneyland.
Yeah.
Oh, super cool.
I only got It's a Small World, no matter what park you're
Both parks, no matter what park. So specifically, I think that's the Magic Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't think it does.
Stitch is breaking out.
He's breaking free.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I've got the partner statue. So we're all coffeeed up here today.
Ready to go.
And guys, if you're brand new here, we're sharing our Hoop-de-Doo month in review. It's basically Disney news from the past month here, so the month of May, and we're just going to throw it at you guys and just kind of enjoy the kind of the look back and the look forward and see what's coming up. But can't wait to really share it with you guys and hear what you guys have to say, Mark and Irene. And now I know that starting last month when we started this, and thank you for hosting it last month on your channel. So in case you guys are brand new, we're going to be flip-flopping back and forth. And so Mark and Irene are going to host it on their channel, Wonderful World of Walter, one month when we're going to host it. And so it'll be really neat to go back and forth. But we share our wonderful things of the month and fun things of the month. So since our channels are wonderful and fun, there you go.
And guys, we do have a link to Wonderful World of Walter's channel in the description. So please go check them out if you haven't already.
And subscribe.
Yeah.
And if
give them some love.
And if you're brand new to our channel, subscribe, hit that like button as well. Really does help get the word out on YouTube, and YouTube's algorithm shares it around. So thanks.
Yeah.
All right. So where should we start, guys? I mean, it's been a really awesome month. And I said this in May. And that is that 2021 is going to be the year that I think really that everybody's going to see Disney kind of rolling everything back out as fast as they rolled it back in on 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. We've already seen some of that happening. Hi, Julia. Welcome aboard.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what they roll back out to, like just all the speculations around like the fast pass system and if that's going to come back or if it's going to be just like these timed queues. You know, I think it's going to be really interesting to see what comes back in its original form, what comes back in a modified form. Like, will we ever go back to buffets, or will they keep the like family style dining? Like, when are characters going to come back? Are they going to keep cavalcades? Are they going to keep like the distanced greetings of characters? So I think that's what I'm really anxious to just see how it comes back.
That would surprise me if they'd keep distanced characters. I mean,
well, I don't know. Some people have said that, like, I mean, I could see them doing both, like bringing character meet and greets back, but also still keeping some of these distanced characters, because people have said they really enjoy it, like watching Pooh frolic through the flowers in Epcot. Like, it's an interesting way to like get a good picture and see the characters. I think for adults, like for a lot of adults, that is like a really awesome thing. Like they want to see the characters, but they don't necessarily want to wait in a 45-minute line to like interact with them. So it's kind of the best.
You don't need to interact with Pooh, honey.
I mean, you know, like with Wally, I want to, right? But like, I wouldn't mind just like seeing Pooh, and you still get to interact with them. Like you're waving, they're like, you know, giving you gestures.
I like to be in the vicinity on their 20-minute character break.
Right.
Because then you can be like, oh, hey, how's it going, Pooh?
Well, and Disneyland has kind of always done that. Like Disneyland's always had characters like walking through the park that don't necessarily stop to interact, but they're just like out
they don't have the utilidors.
Well, yeah, and they don't have like the capacity to like have a character stand and make this giant line in the middle of the park because it's so much more like condensed in there. So I don't know.
Plus, I think it's a neat new interaction, especially
so
like
too.
like with
It
Joy at
adds to
Epcot or Pooh at Epcot,
Right.
and Pooh chasing flowers. I really think that's a neat new interaction. So
Yeah.
I hope they bring back the, you can go up and hug Mickey Mouse.
I want to hug Mickey.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But I do like the new interactions, and I think that's something that should stay as a value add.
I agree.
Yeah. I agree with
And
that.
I could see like maybe not bringing back characters outside, like maybe just having them in restaurants and like indoor air conditioned places, like we loved going to like the Pete Silly Sideshow and the Storybook Circus. Those were like awesome character interactions, but you're also like in the AC. So if you have to stand in a 45-minute line or 2-hour line, you're not dying in the Florida heat. And two, for those characters, they can stay out longer because they're not baking in the Florida heat too.
That's
So
true.
Right. And Julia makes a good point. Hey, you get more time on the rides if you can see them kind of on the way to the
right.
ride.
Exactly.
But then again, for Disney's perspective, that character meet and greet where you are getting out and you're in that line takes you away from the other rides.
Mhm.
So it gives you something else to do with the guests. So who knows?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
It will be interesting to see. I totally want to see the cavalcades stay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As opposed to the
Afternoon parades.
the afternoon parade where everybody kind of sucks it in. You can't move. You can't go anywhere.
It's
You're
locked down for like an hour beforehand.
Yeah.
Everybody's on the sidewalk and it just gets kind of crazy and everybody's clumped up. Once again, that's some good crowd control because everybody's there waiting.
Right.
But yeah, it's a little bit of a nuisance to try to navigate through, especially if you don't realize, like you're new to Disney, you don't realize it's going to happen and you're stuck in one land and not able to get to the other and you're missing your reservation for lunch. And I kind of don't miss the parades with all the queuing up.
I also think that with the cavalcades, it allows more people who maybe they did a long time ago. They stopped and watched the parade for its entirety.
Yeah.
But as you're walking through and a cavalcade happens, you're kind of just immediately stop.
Right.
Or you can kind of veer out of the way. But it really does allow those who've maybe never seen these characters in a parade format. Because let's face it, the cavalcades they've grown. It's a mini parade. It's not just a cavalcade anymore.
Fun. They're just so super fun, man.
Yeah.
It is that mini shot of magic and then bam, it's done.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really enjoyed the villains cavalcade.
Oh, that was the best. Yeah.
And I mean, there were all of your
favorite villains that you love to hate right there. And I'm like,
and you never see them.
Awesome.
You never see them. Like some of them you never see.
I mean, those are ones that aren't really out in the parks normally.
Yeah.
So
I mean, with the villains, to get that kind of cavalcade, you literally had to pay for the after hours almost
party,
to be able to see that.
Yeah.
So it was really neat to be able to see that when we were
neat.
there for Halloween. And I hope they continue that type of experience that you didn't get before COVID.
right.
So
I mean, in some ways, like I get why like the parades and things like that help with crowd control, but I honestly wouldn't mind if like capacity like stayed down a little bit, and then we could still have things like that to keep people moving. And maybe it's just like less people that could be in the parks. And I don't know if monetarily somehow Disney could figure that out. But, I think the hope is too that more people will start going to Epcot. Like once all this construction's done, once Ratatouille opens, once Guardians opens, like I do think that Epcot will start to be more of a draw, and it's such a big park that its capacity is like way more than any of the others.
yes.
So if we can get more people going there, and I mean, you're seeing it now with the crowd calendars and reservations, Epcot's the only one that is only ever like it's consistently always available. Like, I don't know. I mean, there's a couple days where it's been completely like every park booked up, but
Right. But I also think that, and you nailed it when you said it, and that is with the park reservations. I think that's how we're going to see more capacity at the parks, but they're going to be very, very directed at each park.
Yeah.
So even though it might not be at full capacity, if they're like, hey man, everybody's coming to the Magic Kingdom, let's roll that back. Let's increase it at Epcot, increase it at Hollywood Studios. And I think I don't think it's going to be like it used to be, which is this is capacity, fill it up or don't fill it up. It's up to the guest. I think Disney's going to take way more control of that. And they want to put as many people in every single park, but I think they're going to be directing it from now on. I think it's going to be controlled more by Disney because of the park reservation.
I don't think it's a
Yeah.
bad thing. I mean, I just think it means you have to plan, you know, but
sure.
Yeah.
but you've always had to kind of plan for Disney. I mean, if you were going to go into it like completely unplanned, granted, pre-COVID, it was maybe a little bit easier to do. Like you could just be like, well, I think I'll go to the Magic Kingdom today. But
Yeah.
still, you were going to be really overwhelmed if you didn't go into it with some sort of a plan.
Oh yeah.
So,
You have to. I mean, I see these these channels that are out there with the annual pass holders, which there's something I can't wait to hear an announcement on one way or the other,
they
just so we
teased us a
know.
bit on that with JPEG this month.
I really
Yeah.
hope they bring it back just by some of the verbiage that was used. But then again, some of the other verbiage that was used I don't know. It's still up in the air, and I hope Disney gets it figured out as far as Walt Disney World goes.
I think August. I think August is when we're going to see annual passes come back. I think they're going to get through the summer. I think they know that enough people are going to come during the summer. They can get people there. They don't necessarily want like locals and annual pass holders like over the summer because it's a busier travel season. So there's not really an incentive.
Full capacity yet.
Yeah. So, but I think August is kind of when I think that annual passes are going to come back. We were hoping they'd be July so that we could get one.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, if it's not August, then
now let me ask you this, guys. So did you cancel yours?
we did. We had purchased one because we were supposed to go May of 2020.
Okay.
And we had purchased one for that trip. And then, you know,
We'd never activated it.
We'd never activate it because it doesn't start until you activate the pass when you buy a new one. If you're renewing, then it just starts, you know, wherever you pick up from. But yeah, so we had purchased one and we had planned to like activate it when we went in May. And then we pushed that trip back. I think we were like, we're going to go like that summer. Then we were going to go that fall. And then we finally just were like, you know what? I don't know when we're going to go. So let's just cancel. So, but it was a hard decision to make because,
Oh yeah.
you know, but we're like, that's a lot of money to sit on, like not knowing when we're going to go. And so we just made the choice to cancel. But we talked about it because we're like, you know what? Prices are probably going to go up by the time they allow them again.
We did not think they were going to eliminate the annual passes.
So
Yeah.
Do you? So I don't know how the verbiage was used, but I know they said that if you've canceled one in the past, you could still reactivate, or is that no?
We're gonna ask.
We're gonna ask
when we're down there because we technically canceled a non-activated annual pass during and you had to cancel it during the pandemic.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so anyone that canceled before the pandemic, out of dice, but you know, we technically canceled a non-activated pass during the pandemic.
Right.
So I feel like you guys will. I just based on what I've heard, like if you were renewing or if you have canceled, and you're thinking about getting it back, I think you guys can do it.
I think we'll go and ask when we're there. We'll probably stop by. I think there's that customer service in Disney Springs.
Yeah.
So we'll
so
go and ask.
All very interested because I hope you guys do get it back because I know you're going to use the heck out of it.
Well, and we're going to be there for 10 days in July. So like that alone, and then we'd be able to park hop because we didn't spring for the park hopper, which is like the first time in a long time we'll have been in Disney without the capability to park hop. So it'll be interesting, but
there's going to be so much to do, guys. You're going to be able to just, since you've already got your park reservations, it's not like you've got to start at Epcot and then hop over to Magic Kingdom. You're going to be in the park all day, probably.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, like it's going to be so hot in July that we're planning on let's go ride 2 rides, eat a nice lunch, and then go hit up the pool for a couple hours and then maybe go back for one more ride. We're not going to do like marathon days in the park.
We've actually even had that. We've had that conversation, which is not us, right? So we're park warriors. You know, we get up, we
there
rope
at the crack
drop.
of dawn. We go to bed at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. We get up the next day and do it again. So we totally need a vacation from our vacation every time.
But it is going to be so hot, and we're going at the end of June, and so it's just like,
I don't know. Enjoy it. Where are you guys staying again? Are you doing
Art of Animation?
Art of Animation, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. It's nice to go back and take a pool break, I think. And the water parks are open again. Have you guys done the water parks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When we lived in Florida, we did them all the time. We literally went to the water parks more than the actual parks.
Well, we went to the water parks in like July and August so that we could avoid the crowds, but we would kind of sneak over to the parks after dark, you know, when it's kind of getting evening time, and enjoy that, and then scoochy boochies on home.
Yeah. I mean, the water parks are great this time.
They
of
are.
year.
Yeah, they
The
are.
only thing that stinks about the water parks in in the summer in Florida is rain. Like, if you hit it on a day where there's like a early afternoon thunderstorm, you're
basically losing your
little time in the water park. We did that last July, and we got there.
July 2019.
Yeah,
Oh,
we got an hour in the park. And then it was a like torrential downpour, a thunderstorm, lightning, thunder. So everything was closed. So after 3 hours of like waiting it out, we're like, okay, we're calling it.
In fact, after 3 hours of waiting it out, they give you your ticket back.
They do. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So you purchased a day ticket.
We never made it back to use,
No.
but
That'd be the kicker. Like, oh, we got everything else planned out. Now we can't go back.
all right.
All right.
Well, I say we jump in and let's.
Time.
I think there are some definite fun and wonderful things
that have happened in May.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So, how should we do this? Do you guys want to start or?
Yeah.
Sure. Do we want to start fun since we're on the fun Fieros?
Yeah.
There we go.
We can start wonderfuls on ours and funs
Yes.
on theirs.
Yes.
I like that.
I like that.
Yes.
I'm gonna let you go first. 'Cause
I get
feel
the
like
first fun?
You've put a lot of like thought into your response.
Well, and Andy and I talked about my first fun beforehand, and you know, I'm gonna take his memory over mine that we talked about it last time, but it's still fun, and it's more guaranteed now because the permits have been filed for Club Cool.
Yes.
Yes.
That is certainly fun. The return
Yes.
of the Beverly to Epcot.
That's not fun.
The ability
Trying to watch somebody drink it who's never had it before.
the ability for me to Beverly bomb once again returns to Epcot.
It is a great,
I'll have to watch Mark if we ever go together.
Yeah, man.
right? If he ever says, "Hey, Andy, you look parched. I got you a
I
glass,
got you a
of,
glass
water.
of water.
Oh,
It's
that's
not
just
water.
mean.
That is
Beverly.
especially if you're expecting water and you slug it back. Oh,
Yeah, well, that's what I did. I like chugged the whole thing, and I was like,
no.
"That's not water."
This is not water.
I thought he was being so sweet. Like
I was so sweet.
he went on a little bathroom break, came
Yep, came
back,
back
and
with
he's
some
like, "Hey,
water.
I stopped and got you some water." I don't know why I thought like he had water in like a paper Coca-Cola
And a
cup.
Coca-Cola cup.
Why I
It's
didn't
free,
like.
I swear, he says.
It was free. I'm looking forward to Club Cool just period because you know you're able. I just don't know how they're going to do it. And we talked about this last
Yeah.
month, and it's just are they going to do self-serve like it was? Or are they going to have cast members handing it out? I mean,
I don't
I don't
know.
know, the restrictions are lowering so fast over
They
there.
are, and half of the resorts you're self-serve at this point. Half the resorts it's somebody serving you the beverage. So I'm
Right.
expecting them to open it when it's self-serve.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I'm
No,
thinking. they're gonna
It is
do
going to take them a
to make
while.
it easier.
Yeah, it's going to take them a while to finish building it. So again, you're
I
looking
mean-
about that August timeframe.
In some ways, it kind of would be fun if it wasn't self-serve. Like if it was like, here's a taster tray, and then they had like
Ooh.
places you could go like sit and
Ooh.
enjoy it. Because the floor was always like super sticky. And like half the time, like things were out of service. You'd have to like go around to find like, you know, the one that wasn't for like the melon soda. And it was like crowded, and sometimes it was hard to get in there. So in some ways, like maybe it would be nice if it was like you walked in and like, here's your taster tray, go sit, and then you're not having to like crowd around and trying to like fill up cups. Like it might be more of a like experience.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, I mean, it controls costs for Disney because people like fill them up and dump them out and fill them up and dump them out. And, you know, it's definitely a lot of waste. So
Yeah.
I could see them changing it to a more controlled situation, like not even because of like COVID or anything, but just to like enhance the experience and control costs.
I like it.
Okay, that's probably that's a good idea, and that's a good point.
Yeah. Or they have like I don't know. They have a station of Beverly. They have a station of
Right.
different flavors, and you go to, and then they have a few people serving it there and handing it out. And
Yeah.
I
Interesting to
I
see.
just have this feeling, even though it's the most foul thing I think I've ever drank, I think Beverly would have the longest
Yeah.
line for some reason.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, because it's so distinctive and different, and you can try, and 20 years later, you still remember the name Beverly.
Oh yeah.
It makes an impression.
Yeah.
You have to admit.
Did you ever do the Beverly's Revenge at the Coca-Cola store downtown?
Is that the one with the alcohol in it?
Mhm.
Yes.
No, but you said, I think you're right, but I think it was you that said it, that it's actually better.
I think it's a little bit better because it's like, it's more of like a cocktail than just straight up Beverly, but it's still like pretty putrid and hard to get through.
Was it you too that I think we actually did when we discussed it last month? You said that it actually goes better when you're eating with it.
Yeah, if you have food, it's actually like pretty tasty.
Yeah.
Like because it is meant to be like a palate cleanser. So it's kind of like real refreshing, like in between food. Because that's when Mark Beverly bombed me. I was eating some salmon at one of the Epcot festivals, I think Food and Wine.
Okay.
And it like was shocking because I thought it was water. But then like it settled into my palate and I was like, actually, it's kind of palatable. Like it's kind of enjoyable. And so like I took a couple more bites of my salmon and like was sipping on it and it was actually really enjoyable. So I think it's more of one of those, like if you have it with food, it like enhances the flavors and balances your palate versus
and not
alone.
starting out with all the sweet drinks.
I think that's the other like shock with the Beverly. Yeah. Is you have like mango and bubblegum soda and then you're like,
what is this? Yeah.
It's a palate.
That was a great fun.
I love that one. Yes. So I'm excited for it. I doubt it's going to be open when we're there.
I don't think so either.
There's
June.
There's so much construction that still needs to be done. But all right, Irene, what do you got?
Well, I think like for us, a fun is booking on the Wish. Like it's just like something I'm super excited about. It's going to be super fun. And now it gives us this thing to look forward to and plan now for the next year. And like obsessively watch the news and stalk all the like websites and look at deck plans and try and like guess what things are going to be because there's still like mystery areas on the ship and we're in all the like Facebook groups and so talking about like what's the stateroom going to be like and what do you think this deck's going to be like, and so that's just been really, really fun. It's given us this really exciting thing to look forward to.
Well, and even more so than a normal cruise, because Facebook groups form, for all cruises. This is a DVC one, and so the built-in family that already exists among DVC members. I mean, these cruise Facebook groups are giant now compared to what you normally get 100, maybe 200 people, and it's almost at 1,000. I mean, it's
crazy.
That's borderline the entire ship already in a Facebook group.
Right.
Right.
I mean, you're getting close to the entire ship already in a Facebook group, and
I love
that's going to be fun. I mean, they're talking about putting together some custom cruise fabric.
Yeah,
so
they want to
everyone can have like these custom
shirts. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So that's been like super, super fun just to like, I don't know, dream about it, and they're talking about things like, so on all the other ships, they do like fish extenders, right? And so like the hook outside your door is a fish, but on the Wish, it's actually Cinderella's carriage. At least that's what they're like assuming it's going to be based on like video clips and things. And so we're like, it should be the Wish extender. So
I like that.
Right here.
I said that right
you said
away.
It first,
but now it's like a whole discussion. They're
now
like, we're calling them Wish extenders, and I'm like, that was my idea.
I love it.
But
now, you had a really interesting booking, from my understanding. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, so we're doing the DVC sailing, so it's the second sailing. So you had to call in and reserve it with. So one person has to be paid in points, which is actually really nice because the adult point totals vary based on what kind of room you're in. Kids, it's like the same no matter what.
112 points, no matter what room you're in. You could be in a
concierge
level suite, or you could be down at the
Yeah.
bottom of the boat inside.
Yeah. So, but they let you book with, like, if you want to pay for points for the kid, you can pay for points with the kid. So that's what we ended up doing because it was the least amount of points.
Yeah, because your return point ratio was about $8.65
per point.
Which
versus
is
normally
the worst spending of your DVC points ever.
Like if you buy one-time use points, they sell for $19 with tax. So that's like kind of what you could say a DVC point is worth, is about $20 a point.
Right.
Okay.
So it's not a good value to use them for the cruises, but kind of once in a lifetime experience to get to go on the second sailing. So
Well, and this was a great. What I'm excited about for this is it was a great spend of points, because right now DVC is really fearing there's a mass of points after COVID.
Yeah.
This was a great expend of points.
Right.
A lot of people did just spend all of their points on the ship.
Yeah. And they have right now, they have a freeze in place. So normally you can borrow up to a year's worth of points. And right now you can only borrow up to 50% of your points. And they suspended that for the cruise. So you could borrow as many points as you wanted to. So a lot of people did, like they took out, like they had a year banked, they had their current year, and then they had a whole year, you know. And
so
they just used them for the cruise.
It just removed a ton of points from the DVC system, which will help get us past COVID on a DVC point standpoint.
And help drain out all those points.
And it really shows, I think it really shows who DVC really is. I mean, that they were able to do that, and, you know, how they treat their guests, how they treat their owners. That's really nice, that because it is going to be a once in a lifetime cruise.
It will be.
Yeah.
I mean, most people, I mean, don't get to go on inaugural cruises, you know?
Right. I mean,
on a ship like this, it's state of the art.
Well, and that's what surprised me. So a couple of people in the DVC group have already posted, like, this is my first cruise. And I'm like, oh man, you're setting the bar up here. I mean, this is going to be a DVC cruise. Wow. You're setting the bar up here, guys. I wouldn't do that.
Which, I mean, Disney already sets the bar.
Disney already has the bar about right here, but now you're going on a brand new ship, a DVC only cruise.
So when we booked, you had to call in first and like just reserve with your points. And that was all. Like, you didn't pay anything. You didn't even like extract any points at that point. It was just call in and reserve it, and then we'll call you back within 72 hours to pay. And you had to pay 100% up front. So that was like, we had to really be like, okay, are we doing this? Like, can we make this work?
When did you find that out though? That you had to
we knew, like, calling in that was the situation. And
so it wasn't a surprise.
No, but they didn't post the like how much it was gonna cost until that morning. You know, and so they had actually accidentally posted it prematurely, and somebody had screenshotted it and posted it in one of the groups. So we had like looked at that and knew like, okay. And we'd actually decided Sunday night, we're like, we're not doing it. Like, it's too expensive. Like, it's 3 nights. Like, we're not going to do it. So we woke up Monday morning, and I was sitting there. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning. So 11 o'clock Eastern, and bookings opened at 7 Eastern, I think. And so I was like, I don't know, like, maybe I'll just call it and see if anything's left. Like, I'm probably not even going to get a line in. So I called in 27 times.
Oh, dang.
The 27th time, I finally got a line through.
You're a little dedicated for somebody not sure you're going to go on the cruise. Just point that out, folks.
And Mark was like in a meeting, and so I couldn't even talk to him. So I'm just texting him. I'm like, hey, it's posted. This is how much it's going to be. Like, I'm just going to call in and see if I can do it. Like, I hope you're okay with it. So I called in. I was on hold for, I think, like 90 minutes before I finally got through. And he like literally got done with his meeting like 7 minutes after they'd picked up. And I was like, I'm booking.
And then you booked, and you're like, well, let me look at this other option. And didn't the cast member say, if we back out of this, it's going to go away?
Because I had pulled up all the deck plans on the Disney cruising site and was kind of trying to like, I'm like, well, this one looks like the balcony might be a little extended. Like, I think I want to go with this one. I was like, so is this room available? And she's like, yep, I got it. And I was like, okay. I was like, actually, can you check if that? She's like, if we go back, you're going to lose this room. Like, I can't guarantee there's even going to be anything available.
It's going quick.
And it was going so fast at that point. I think it sold out at 12:30 Eastern.
Yeah,
and
I was on the phone. Half hour after you got off the phone.
Yeah. So it was crazy. Super fast. So I got it booked. Then you had to wait for them to call you back.
And there were still people a week later that hadn't called back yet.
So I actually called in because I, like, at the time of booking, I said I wanted to pay a Dalton point and then pay cash for Wally and the other adult. But then I was like, no, I think I want to pay points for the kid. So I was like, I'll just call and like see if they can make that change. And then I paid. But then when I was paying, her system froze. So it was like in the suspended state of like not paid. And I could see like on our dashboard, the points kept doing weird things. It was like
they kept moving
all of
around.
A sudden, like we had 12 points in this year, and then we had 97 points. And then it was like,
or like had a heart attack and fell over.
And they said, like, if you don't pay within 72 hours, we'll release your reservation.
Which
Okay.
they didn't do. They
didn't
didn't
yeah.
do that to anyone. There's no one that's
No.
reported their reservation.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's
has been
good.
reversed.
Yeah.
So,
But I was like super stressed. And then I ended up calling back, waiting another like 3 hours on hold. And the lady's like, it's in the hands of Disney tech support, which no one ever wants to hear that.
No.
So, but then she did call me back the next day and was like, it's good, it's paid, you're good to go, which is nice because I actually have this like voicemail confirmation that it's paid. Because now we have to wait another 6 weeks before it actually gets transferred into Disney Cruise Line system, and we actually even have an official confirmation number.
Oh wow!
And so once we get the paperwork in the mail, like 6 weeks from now, then we'll officially have a Disney Cruise Line reservation confirmation.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
very
I
stressful.
expect we'll be seeing a video about that then.
I'm sure we will be.
Yeah.
Many videos.
So yes, it was a crazy process.
Yes. All right.
Well, that's an
What do
awesome
you guys,
fun.
what does Fun Fiero think?
Besides, first fun thing is Liz's hair, because that is super
is
fun and
super fun.
awesome.
I went Maleficent purple.
I love
Totally
it.
Maleficent.
I love it.
I didn't even see it. Jean Claire. Hey, hey, thanks for hopping in.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, my fun is one of those small things, right? Because that's the thing I like about Disney so much is you get all these small bits and pieces here and there that just make your vacation more wonderful and more fun. And this is going to probably sound silly, all right? But Disney's kind of hooked up with Snapchat so that you can have like special Minnie Mouse filters and Mickey filters that you can take pictures of. But the thing that I think is so neat is that you can actually, they're going to use an augmented reality. You can take your picture and then it projects on the castle, and it's going to be there the entire year and a half that the 50th anniversary celebration is going on.
That's cool.
Which means that you'll be able to access that. You can share it with your friends and your family. But how super cool would it be to see yourself on Cinderella's castle? I mean, way to make your own magic memory right there. Oh, I love that.
How
That's
neat
super
would it
fun.
be? How
Are you
neat would
gonna
it
do
be
that?
if we did that and put it like in a projection show?
It would be totally neat. But what'd you say, Mark?
Are you going to do that? Are you going to like send it in and then stand there for a couple hours and wait to see it come up?
Totally. We won't be able to do it in June because obviously it starts in October.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. But yeah, I can't wait.
Well, but I mean,
And Julia's right.
we're gonna
They are on Snapchat right now through like June the
Yeah.
3rd.
right.
Once June the 3rd hits, you're only going to be able to grab those filters
And
on Walt
park.
Disney World Resort.
Right.
So if you haven't checked them out, do that right now before they go away.
Is
Ah.
it just Snapchat or is it other social media platforms?
It's just Snapchat.
Yep.
Might have to remove we have a household ban on
I know.
Snapchat.
It's the one like social media platform we don't, and TikTok. We don't do TikTok or Snapchat.
Well, we don't do Snapchat. We do TikTok though.
Well,
Yeah.
we're gonna do Snapchat for this for
We
sure.
are going to do Snapchat for this, and then
I just love how
Probably
Disney's
turn the
teaming
ban
up
back
with
on.
all of these different things. I mean, they teamed up with Advent Healthcare to, build an
Yeah.
emergency room on Disney property.
pretty
They're
cool.
teaming up
That's
with
huge.
Snapchat, and I mean,
That's
these are
huge.
huge things that are like,
they are, and they're
Disney's, like,
hugely different
really working
audiences
it.
that they're trying to
Mhm.
bring in and pull in.
Yeah.
Because Snapchat is totally the younger folks that they're
Yeah.
wanting to say, hey, please come visit our parks, come fall in love with Disney. And so I think that's really smart on their part.
yep, and it's not hard to fall in love with Disney.
No,
No.
You just got to go. And I
Just
mean,
takes
we hear
one
that so many
time.
times. Yeah, we hear
Takes
that so
one
many
time.
times, and
Yeah.
even adults that I've never been, I would never go.
don't wanna
It's
do that.
kids and princesses, and then as soon as you go, you experience something that Disney can't put into a movie. They can't
Yeah.
put it into
Yeah.
an animated film. They can't put it into a short. They can't put it into, just a history. You experience a feeling, and you experience that pixie dust that everybody talks
Yeah.
about, and these cast members dole it out.
yeah, they
But
do.
what is it? And it's that feeling, and that's
Plus, it's
that's
also
what makes it
the
awesome.
smells and the sights, and those just kind of roll into making those memories that you'll smell something and go, oh my gosh, that's Disney.
yeah. And you see your
know?
friend's face, you see your kid's face, your wife, your husband,
Yeah.
whatever it is, and you're experiencing that memory together.
Yep.
That's what Disney World is. That's what all the parks are.
Mhm.
So that's what I love. All right.
You're fun.
My
It's time.
fun in May was the official opening of the Festival of the Lion King. It is
Oh, yes.
open.
I didn't even
And-
realize that we're matching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on top of all of that, so they started off with, it was like, I don't know, it was like a third capacity. Okay. It was like
Yeah.
what they're allowing in. And now they've got it up to about 50% capacity, maybe a little bit more. But they had it to where they were not only were people separated on a row, but then there was a row empty in between the guests. And now they're using every row, but still staggering people, which, and Mark, you and I talked about this briefly, and this was just a neat thing that they're doing. And this is one of those things that should stay around now that COVID has happened, and Disney should just take a look at this even deeper, because I know it's great to put everybody in there, but it's also great to have a great experience while you're in a theater. And to have people staggered like that, and the little kids or
They can now
the
see.
people they can't.
The short people.
That's right. I didn't even think about you, Liz. Yes, now you can see as well.
You can see
I know.
everything.
Well, it's the struggle. The struggle is real when you're like trying to like lift yourself up in your seat. And you don't want to like block the person behind you. It's like, if I were just 3 inches taller, I could see.
Yep.
It's real. The struggle is real.
Yeah, and I mean, now you don't have, if you do it like that, and then people that do want to create that memory and take it home, they can take their phone or their camera, and they can, take a video of the show or pictures of the show and take that home, and you're not getting the back of somebody's head, or you're not reaching up and taking a picture in front of somebody else that's trying to watch the show.
Yeah,
all those things, it really does, I don't know, it adds to the experience. So even though COVID is nasty and horrible, some of the things that Disney has done to make the experience as best they can, really, I think in this case that should stay around in all their theaters.
Yeah, kind of nice. But like the Finding Nemo show, you're already staggering up.
That's
so
true.
I never had that issue there.
That's true.
Right.
And
It
theater
is more
style
like
seating.
a stage theater, theater seating. And
Much better
everything.
designed. Yeah, the Finding Nemo theater is much better designed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, same thing.
Yeah, because you're in those
Very easy
bleacher
to see.
types and it goes down and
Oh
down.
yeah, that one's very steep incline on its
Yeah.
seating.
Yep.
It's kind of scary going in there sometimes, especially when you come in from the bright and you're like, I can't see anything.
Yeah,
from it.
I can't see anything. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I think it's time for Wonderful.
I
So-
did have one fun for Wally. Wally has not joined us yet, but
Oh yeah.
I have one fun for Wally.
Yeah, hit us with Wally's fun. We need
The
to know.
return of the parking lot trams.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
He
Parking
went
lot tram.
nuts when I told him those were coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, once
does
again, that's one of those things where, man, just the smell of that.
Yeah.
Those
The
are your-
noise.
Mark, do we have a date?
What?
Do we have a date yet?
I'm trying to remember
No,
if
we
they
don't.
announced a date.
Okay.
No, we don't have an
I
exact
mean, it's
date.
like they're likely to resume service.
Yes.
So
They will.
Okay, they will.
I
They're sitting
mean,
there in the
they
parking
will.
lot.
I think by this summer, it's going to be busy. I think there's going to be a lot of people driving. I think
Yeah.
there's going to be more people driving to the parks because of like the imminent demise of the Magical Express coming. I think people are like already starting to kind of like plan how they would do without it. And then I also just think like because transportation's been a little bit more
Dicey.
like it's
Yeah.
just nice to have a car. I mean, we're gonna have a car when we go down in July because we're doing 4 resort transfers, but but also just the convenience of like not having to wait for a bus and things like that.
And I think for some people who live closer to the parks, not flying, then flying may not be within their comfort
Right.
zone at this point. So
A
it may
lot
just
more
be
people
easier
are
for
gonna
those guys to just drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think a lot more people will be road tripping to Disney
Mhm.
too, like along the East Coast and in the South.
Oh, yeah.
And the bus wait times right now are ridiculous. They were ridiculous
Yeah.
when we were there.
Yeah, they're ridiculous
Well,
now.
They were always ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it used to be,
But
you know,
especially
count like
now.
yeah, but 20 to 30 minutes you could count on that, and now it's,
Right. Yeah.
that's out the window.
Yeah. But they are starting to remove a lot of like partitions and things on rides. I don't know if that'll
I don't know if they can do
trickle-
it with the buses yet, though, because of that's transportation and that falls under the federal mandate.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure.
So,
But here's the thing: the Skyliner is actually already started doing multiple loadings.
Multi-loads. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So,
Which I'm a little bummed about. Like
Yeah,
Oh, it's
it's
fun
kind
to
of
have
nice
your own.
having your own your
yeah.
own gondola car just flying through.
It was so nice.
But would the gondola actually count as public transportation since it's all on private property and privately run?
No,
it's still
So-
transportation.
Exactly. So it's their
Yeah.
internal, so they're getting away with that.
Ollie, we're talking about your favorite parking lot tram.
Yeah, trams, buddy.
Good morning.
Good morning, Wally.
Good morning.
Oh, that's so cute. All right, Irene, what's your wonderful?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I think my wonderful is like just things like opening back up. So the news that June 15th officially outside of California people are going to be able to go to Disneyland.
Yes.
That was really wonderful to hear because it's like this is really happening. We're really like we're really opening things back up. Like we've seen a lot happening in Disney World, which has been really wonderful. But to see Disneyland finally like opening back up and being able to welcome more guests and creating that opportunity, and it coinciding with when the Avengers campus is going to be opening, that was like really a wonderful feeling.
Hey guys.
Hey, buddy. It is great news, and I'm so looking forward to finally getting to Disneyland. We're going to do it. We don't know when, but that news
so
right
on the
there
bucket list, and
made
then
it possible.
Yeah,
because we were thinking that was going to be like next year when they would maybe do something, and I think they're just tired of being shut down as a state. So that's great.
A lot of businesses that are ready to move forward.
Yeah.
So I can't blame them, because California, they had that weird new strain, and
yeah.
So hopefully they're all back to normal. My wonderful, it's kind of wonderful and fun.
Ooh.
All right.
A double.
It is a double whammy. It's a twofer. So I'm really super excited for the fact that the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is going to be renovated, and not while we're there, but it is June 7th through the 12th.
Just
close.
Missing it.
That was so close, you guys.
Yeah, I know. For us, man, I am so like, we're on that cusp. So I'm really super excited to see what they're going to do. And another thing is, talk about right time, right place, and missing some stuff. I'm super happy that they didn't refurb the gondola this January when we were there.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they're doing it next January.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what kind of things that they're going to, kind of incorporate on there.
Yep.
I'm curious what Doppelmayr or Disney or both determined needs to be done to a gondola system that was just installed. But obviously,
well, we've had the incidents.
Yes, they've had the incident. So I'm wondering if Doppelmayr came up with a fix.
I don't know.
However, Disney's operating the gondola is different than every other gondola they've installed globally, including here in Colorado, where the gondola operators smoke pot. I put a lot of asterisks on that. But you have, Disney gondolas that need something a little different.
True.
Yeah, and so Disney has said that it's nothing extreme. It's just normal maintenance that needs to. I mean, it's going to be, by the time they do it, it's going to be basically 3 years that they've been open.
Yeah.
So I think it's just they said it was routine maintenance, which cool.
Makes sense, because this is almost a continuously operating system.
Yeah, I mean, heck, I mean, just I say do it once a year if it's routine. I mean, just if you got to clean the cable, I don't know what you got to do. Oil the gears. I mean, just keep less incidents are better. But I don't know. I think for a brand new system at Walt Disney World, 2 incidences.
Yes.
That's
pretty good.
They were like pretty major incidents. I mean,
right.
It has a huge effect when something like that happens, because
it's sensational news, right? But
the second one being the car coming in from the handicap line and kind of smashing in. I think that if they were having a true issue and a true fix, that renovation would not be waiting until next January. That'd be immediately going on.
That would be an immediate thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's just more sensational when those types of things, because you have people that are afraid of heights, which is it's a real thing.
But you've also got people live streaming it, posting it immediately on social media. It becomes a thing. All right. And all eyes go to, oh my goodness, Disney's had an issue, because we're also used to Disney being really super good and perfect. And so when they have a snafu, I think it's like watching the giant, stumble a little bit, and everybody's kind of giggling and laughing, about it.
Yeah.
But they are the first one that have implemented this type of system.
Yeah.
I mean, most cities that have these installed, it goes from point A to point B.
Yeah. This
not
is
multiple turn houses and
Yeah. And it's a distance you're traveling too,
Yeah.
For sure. It's not, and I love it. That's all I got to say is that when it is operating,
expand it, please.
And guys, we've been on it so many times, and it'll slow down. Yeah, it'll stop. And it's what it is that they're literally taking, one of the lines for like wheelchairs or whatever. So they're taking that gondola that is separate, and they're putting it onto the normal line, right? Yeah, so they have to slow everything down and almost stop it in order to get that in there.
Yep.
And then you have people that just need a little bit more time getting off. And the fact that they can just slow it down like that and allow people to do it safely
Yeah.
I just love it even more because it just makes for a better experience for everybody, and
It's
it
fun.
starts to take that fear away or any inconvenience factor that might be there.
Mhm.
And I want to see this gondola, the Disney gondola system.
The Disney Skyliner gondola
The Disney
system.
Skyliner. Gosh. But I want to see that do way more parks. I want to see Animal Kingdom.
Me
I want to
too.
see,
Yeah.
all of those things where it's just like, we don't need the bus fuel and all of that just pumping through and just raising prices all the time. I think if we have a system like this that,
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, especially
if we could get rid of the
solar
bus
farm that they're putting in. So if with like in 2 years, 40% of all their energy is going to come from their solar farms. So seeing that kind of fuel the gondola is super neat too.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think Animal Kingdom is the worst park to get to. Like, unless you're staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge, it's just like such a commitment to get out there. Yeah.
And if you put it somewhere near like where the bus station is, kind of like what they did with Hollywood Studios, where it's very close proximity to each other.
Yeah.
It keeps that, because the gondola stations do create noise. All right. But I don't think they create more noise than, say, a bus depot.
Or a bus like lower and going low,
the
to get somebody
and
on
everything.
it, the beeping and everything. I don't think they're that disturbing.
No, but it's just that constant drone.
But it's that background hum that you can start to just phase out of your mind and not even pay attention
but
to.
it's all about the animals at the Animal Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
So you want to, when you want to keep their environment as natural as possible, and definitely don't want to have all that noise. So if they put it in that same proximity and then just, I love it. You can move more people through there. You're not waiting on buses all the time. I love it.
Very good thing.
I think that's the next place it should be. Magic Kingdom, TTC, that area, maybe the last, but
I think so. I think that'll be the last area because you do have the TTC and the monorail and you can bus over.
All points lead to TTC.
And they've got boats. I mean, they've got the option for all the water.
Yeah, so you got a lot of different stuff that you can do.
And plus, I mean, let's face it, getting to the Magic Kingdom, everybody loves the ferry boat or the monorail.
Or even the new walking path right there from the Grand Floridian and the Contemporary. Yeah. All right, what's your wonderful?
My wonderful is much like Irene. So I was going to say Disneyland allowing out-of-state guests. However, guys, let's not forget that parks around the world are beginning to open. And this summer, all the parks will be open, guys.
Yeah, no.
First time in a long time.
Yes. It's been a long time. So hopefully
Disneyland
June
Paris,
the 15th.
June 17th.
Or June 17th for Disneyland Paris. Hopefully that doesn't get bumped back or moved or anything like that, because it has been moved back a lot of time. Hey, welcome in, Bob and Kelly. Thank you.
Hey, guys.
But yeah, we're so hoping that it opens. Come on, Disneyland Paris. Oh, I've been there one time for one day, but I love Paris. I love that park.
Yeah.
And I so want to see Europe back to normal.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that is a bucket list for you and I.
Yes.
We were just talking about that the other night too.
We were talking about how we really want to do all the we want to do Tokyo and Shanghai and Hong Kong. And I know this is Disney, but I want to go to the Universal Park with the Super Mario World too. I want to do a trip where we get to do both.
Yeah.
I really want to do the Super Mario World.
Okay, so we're huge Disney fans, but we're not anti-Universal.
No, I love Harry Potter. All right, I can't say that Andy and Morgan love Harry Potter as much as I do, but they've definitely been forced to watch the movies enough to where they have an appreciation for Harry Potter.
I love the movies. I mean, for sure, and I loved watching them grow up and grow into their roles at the end. I love that, and watching the same characters do that. They didn't, use every character. They committed to this storyline.
That was really
from the
neat
beginning.
When they did that.
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of like the new Avatar movies that come out.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I can't wait.
The very first time we ever went to Universal and did Harry Potter, we went with a friend who hadn't read the books, who hadn't seen the movies, knew nothing about Harry Potter, really didn't care at all. And she loved it. Loved every minute of it, loved the food, loved the atmosphere, loved the story, loved the beer. She was loved really everything about it. Butterbeer is really, really good. Okay. I like it a lot.
Is it super sweet, kind of like the Night Blossom?
In a different way. I mean, it's more like ice cream sweet than fruity artificial sweet.
Okay.
And they have it in ice cream, frozen, hot, and regular. I like the frozen one. So, and I love the pumpkin juice. the pumpkin juice is like
Ooh.
honestly probably my favorite thing.
All right,
there.
so I am just nerd out here real quick. I actually do want to get a wand, and I want to go around and do all the little things with the
Super
wand. I
fun.
actually
Super
would
fun.
rather have a wand than maybe a lightsaber. But
I have 2 wands.
Sacrilege. He doesn't even know the spells.
The wands are cheaper than the lightsabers.
Yeah, some of
true.
the wands are cheaper than
One of
that.
them. Okay.
yeah,
You can get
more.
like
Let's spend
10
that
wands before you
more.
get 1 lightsaber. So
Yeah.
and it's,
maybe not
it's
10.
Leviosa, not Leviosa.
That'd be a- Oh, Hermione.
But the second time we went to Universal, I took my niece and her best friend, and they're both like obsessed with Harry Potter. But her best friend purposely had never watched any of the movies. Like had
Oh.
made a life vow
commitment.
that I will never watch the movies. I want to protect the
Interesting.
integrity of the stories from the books.
That's in her
Oh.
mind.
And she didn't tell me this until we were walking into Diagon Alley. And I was like, whoa, like, okay, well, prepare yourself. And she said that everything there was exactly as she had envisioned it in the books, never having seen the movies,
Yeah.
never having seen the previews
mind
for the
was blown.
movies. Like, she's like, this is exactly how I envisioned it.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah, well, the
Yeah.
books. Andy has heard me ad nauseum going off on this because the books are way better than the movies because you've got those layers and layers and
Yeah.
layers, and just watching J.K. Rowling like progress as an author from the very first Sorcerer's Stone book to where, man, you've got like the Goblet of Fire, and you've got so many things coming in together, and this tapestry that she's weaving that you're finally figuring out all these pieces meld together. So they did a really good job with the movies. The special effects are killer. I just
Yeah.
like the books better. I'm a book vote.
So and again, obviously, not to get off on a whole
Yeah, you said-
Universal trip, but has
Yeah,
Universal?
car.
I mean, have they released annual passes? Is that a thing for them right now?
I believe so, but I'm not sure.
I think so.
I know that they were faster than Disney to do away with masks and
Yeah,
less
they have.
distancing.
Completely.
Yeah,
Done
and
away
they're
with masks or vaccinated.
and they're they had like a special preview for the Velociraptor roller
Mhm.
coaster that's brand new for annual pass holders. So I
And
think
they definitely
that's
did
the way.
do annual passes because we have friends that live down there that moved during this and couldn't get an annual pass to Disney, but they have an annual pass to Universal.
Yeah.
So they're like doing more Universal because they have the option there. And Universal just announced no masks inside.
Anywhere.
Bob and Kelly
Bob and
just
Kelly just bought Universal APs.
okay. There
Yeah.
we
There
go.
we go.
Yeah.
Thanks,
It's a good
guys.
move on their behalf, like to steal some business from Disney, because
Yeah.
if they're
And
allowing APs,
Oh, yeah.
there's a lot of people that are becoming more Universal people or buying APs to Universal that they never have done before, never would have done because they can't get them at Disney. So
Yeah, and Universal's really upped their game in the past couple of years too.
I really do appreciate though. So this is my Disney fandom coming out right here, right? But I really do appreciate Disney taking their time,
yeah,
being extremely deliberate in what they're doing. And yeah, I'm impatient. Okay.
Right.
But the thing is that Disney's been around for a very long time. They're going to be around for a very long time.
Yeah.
And they, first of all, they're a massive corporation, huge,
Right.
Worldwide. Nothing happens fast anyways.
So
But
true.
for them to be very deliberate though in
Mhm.
what they're doing and considering the health and safety of their guest, even
Yep.
though they want to make their money back, especially after the
definitely.
last year or so.
Yeah.
I really, this says a lot about the company. I really
I
do think
agree.
that.
Yeah. And it's just very thoughtful. Like it makes you feel like, I don't know, you feel safer going there because even though they could do this, they haven't done it yet because they're being very thoughtful. They're listening to what's happening. They want to ensure the health and safety of their guests above anything
Yep.
else.
Yeah.
And that's like such a true statement about Disney versus like any other park.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, when we did the Keys to the Kingdom tour, they talk about the, 8 keys of excellence, or not 8 keys of excellence. Sorry, that's from my other job. But they talk about their keys that they have,
right?
that really helps ensure that. And their very first key is the safety of guests.
Yes.
Above anything else that they're going to do. The very first thing they're going to consider always in every situation is the safety of the guest first.
Yep.
And then every other key is below that. So even above like customer service, safety is first.
Yep.
So if it's a safety issue, like you're going to take that as precedence, even over making somebody happy,
Yep.
you know? So, I mean, I think that that's just a huge, it speaks volumes about what
Yes.
Disney's about, and that,
Right.
you know, when you're there, like you're going to be safe.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, right, because of let's look at the entirety of the Walt Disney World area, right? And it falls into two different counties, Osceola and Orange County.
Mhm.
I think a little bit of all of this has some politics involved. Okay. Just to make sure that, you know, obviously maybe requests that are made in the future don't fall on deaf ears and those types of things too. But I really do think that aside from all of that, like you said, Irene, I mean, that being their top priority is guest safety.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
if you lead with that every time, if you lead with the best interest of your guest,
Yep.
I don't think you can ever go wrong as a company. I think if every company did that
You may
every
not
single
be
time.
popular at the time, but you can't go wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. I mean, because ultimately in the long run, that's what's going to ensure that you're successful and that people feel comfortable with your company. I mean, you can make spur of the moment decisions that are like more based on profits or more based on like being the first one out of the gate. But if something goes wrong, like that's a huge risk you're taking, you know, and Disney just they value their guests above anything else. And that, you know, plays into customer service. I mean, it's like if safety is your number one priority, that's also like saying that the guest is going to have the highest precedent always.
Thanks for stopping in, Kelly.
Have a good day.
Thanks for stopping in, Kelly. So I got my wonderful yet.
Oh yeah.
I'll pre-apologize if you lose subscribers over it.
Uh-oh.
Virtual queues staying forever.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, we think that's so true.
Yeah.
It once again gives you crowd control. It puts you out in the park spending money.
Yep.
It's a
And
win-win.
and let me talk about what I hated about the fast pass system. Hated it time and time again. They stuck you in a shorter line. You missed all the fun stuff of the regular queue.
To see,
that's true.
Peter Pan.
We've never gone through
Passage.
all the way through. It's always been a fast pass situation. So we've
Yeah.
never seen the lab.
Yeah. The lab is so cool.
Right.
I know it looks really super cool. It's like, we got to do this one time, but it's like, oh my gosh, we don't want to stand in this line for this long.
Yeah,
Right.
even if it's a half-hour wait, you know, you get the virtual queue, you get your call back that it's time to get in line.
Right.
It's a half-hour wait. You're going to spend that. You're going to love that time in the virtual queue. You know, in the queue, but it's moving faster.
Yeah, well, I spent like so much money on all those queues and making them like so cool. Like,
come on, let us see them.
Yep. And I think you're right, Mark. I think they're here to stay, and I'm glad that they're here to stay, especially on the popular ones. You know, the brand new rides, you know, Guardians that is coming in.
Rides of the Resistance. I mean, 3 to 5 seconds of trying to get a boarding pass when you paid a lot of money for this vacation and you only have 2 times a day to do it. I wish that were different.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that we'll see.
That's the downside, for sure. I mean, we have 3 Hollywood Studios days reserved on this trip, not even because we want to spend 3 days in Hollywood Studios, but because we want 3 shots to get on Rise of the Resistance. Right. And you're seeing it when you look at reservations for the parks. Hollywood Studios is the first one to go every single time. And I like, it'll be interesting to see when we're down there if like days open up. You know, like
it will be totally interesting. We've been keeping an eye on that, waiting to see what dining is going to do too.
Yeah,
as far as it goes.
Well, here's the other thing with the virtual queues. So the whole thing of like, well, it doesn't give everybody an equal shot. I think it gives everybody more of an equal shot than, say, the fast pass system, right? Because of everybody can get on at 7 a.m. no matter where you're at and try to get that.
But there is that flip side of, if I choose to spend 5 hours waiting in line, that should be my choice.
That's true.
So,
but again, if you have all of these people getting fast passes 60 days in advance, if you go back to the past, you know,
well, at least you can
and plus with crowd control, how can you deal with, I mean, you're going to start turning people away, right? So the line can only be so big, and then you've got to tell people, no, you can't wait in line. But as soon as somebody moves up, then the next person can get in line. So then you have the people standing there waiting to get in line. You have to have a system. The virtual queue system, I think, is the necessary evil, I guess.
Maybe.
some of the international parks, they've always done that. I think it's Tokyo Disney that it's literally a lottery. Like you walk in and you like go to a machine and then you like play the lotto to see if you can even go on that attraction that day. They've always done that, you know, so.
I do like the Max Pass system at Disneyland when they had that.
Yes.
Just like the old Fast
The old
Pass
Fast
system,
Pass. Yeah, you get one at a time. You got to be there, and you have to go up to the kiosk. And you know, of course, then that became ridiculous because now you're waiting in line for 30 minutes to get a ticket.
Yeah.
Right. But back to Fun and Wonderful, because it's almost time to wrap this up.
It is
Bonus, we're putting you on the spot. What fun and wonderful thing do you want to see come to Disney next month, or even just your wild and wacky prediction of what's coming next month?
Okay, so I have one for that for sure.
Go for it.
I think Fantasmic, because I have been like obsessed over dining. I mean, ask Heather. She's like, Irene, you are psychotic about your dining. And I'm like, yes, I am, because I'm like, food is a big part of our trip.
Yeah.
But I go on and check like, you know, every morning, every evening. And whenever I look, Fantasmic comes up. Like the Fantasmic dining options is no longer below the line of like no availability or unavailable. It's in there. It says it's unavailable. Like there's nothing in there, but it is above the line of like doesn't exist. So it's in the like queue of dining. I don't know when, but I'm hopeful maybe that we'll see that come back this summer.
Right. And Shannon says that the lottery is for the shows at Tokyo Disney.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, yeah.
Okay. So if that's the case, because I predicted, so you said Harmonious or something.
I said for fireworks, Harmonious, but for the show, because you have the amphitheater, Fantasmic, because you're going to be able to socially distance these people,
you sit here,
but
you
not
sit
the
here,
actors.
you sit here.
So
right.
The actors are the issue.
And the actors,
on Fantasmic.
But the actors are also very separated from the
the audience,
but not from each other.
But not from each other.
So
but,
that's the kicker.
Yeah. I hope it does.
So
I love Fantasmic.
Me too.
It's my favorite.
But I think for Fun and Wonderful, I don't know if you're going to agree with me. You might go off off board there. Right. But I just want Harmonious to start back up. I think it's going to happen. We've tested those fireworks. Man, those barges are out there. I'm so ready. Come on, Disney, be listening to me, my little bitty voice. I
can't imagine they're not going to have fireworks on the 4th in Disney. They've already announced for the city of Orlando that they will have fireworks in downtown Orlando. So if Orlando is going to do fireworks and probably like SeaWorld, other places are going to have them, I cannot imagine Disney World will not have fireworks for the 4th of July.
Because that's like being left behind. Yes. I kind of agree with you there.
So here's my Fun and Wonderful prediction. Okay.
He did go off the reservation.
All right. So I love yours, by the way, and I hope that all comes to pass.
Us too.
But let's just go back to those Harmonious barges for a second. If I've got to because you know my favorite park is Epcot. Okay, and that's not to take anything away from any of the other parks. I love them all. They all mean so much to me in their own ways, but I love Epcot, right? That if I got to pick one, that's my favorite park. And I love World Showcase. That is my favorite to go around to the different cultures, especially when we have the people from those countries there, those cast members that
it's always so much fun to get that flavor
I love it.
Of their culture.
But if I've got to look at those barges, I want them to do something.
I want it to be harmonious. Let's just dive into the new show.
Even if it's the water fountains, man. Like,
you have the water fountains on.
Yeah, I mean, if I got to look at them, because I'm going to be taking pictures, we're going to be vlogging. I want them to do something.
Not just look like Stargate. Let's go to a different world where fireworks are happening.
And I think in June, I think they're going to be doing something. I don't think it's going to be testing. I think it's going to be in action somehow.
And I'm really curious to see what they do this weekend, maybe being Memorial Day weekend, and see if they some fireworks in. Because that's what I'm that's what I'm looking for this weekend.
That'd be a sneak job.
I know. Well, they've already, like I said, they've tested at Epcot, and I think that not announcing it and bam, let's see how this works. They may do it.
Yeah,
I am so hopeful. We have reservations for the 4th at Epcot, for the 3rd at Magic Kingdom. We're staying at the Contemporary. We're like so hoping.
You've set yourself up the best for any fireworks show.
For not knowing what's going on. Yeah, I think you're doing
it. It's a huge gamble, but we'll see.
Well,
my
even
fun and
if it
wonderful.
doesn't work out, you still win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, you're still there, and we're there, like, right before the 4th. So we're just hoping that they do something before for us.
What do you got, Mark?
Avengers Campus opening
Yeah.
live stream June 2nd.
Second, yeah,
Fun and
brilliant.
wonderful.
Yes.
That is wonderful. Ooh,
Wow.
And
Love
they've had a
That
long
was a
time.
home
They've had a
run,
long
Mark.
time. They've had a long time to plan this opening ceremony
Oh,
show, so it
yeah.
better be good.
I'm excited about
it
that.
should be good.
Well,
All right. Well, I like the sneak attack. I like the sneak attack. Wonderful for next month.
Yeah.
We'll have to reconvene and see what's going to happen. But all of you guys who joined us on the live stream, we appreciate you.
yeah.
And we will be doing this again next month.
Yeah.
Wonderful World of Walter will be hosting.
Yep.
And should we tease them? Should we just give it away?
We're going to be at Epcot.
We're going to be live streaming from Epcot next month with you guys. So we're going to have a lot of good fun on that stream. Oh, can't wait. Can't wait to get there.
Yes.
Oh.
So, and just so you guys know, bring your favorite Stitch plushie or Stitch whatever, because it's going to be on 6/26 when
That
we're
will be
live
true.
streaming.
Right.
That's right.
That's so
forgot.
true.
So it's like it's his birthday. It's Morgan's favorite day of the year,
It is.
except for her birthday.
That's awesome.
He is her spirit animal, so I think she may enjoy his birthday more than hers.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out with us today. Wonderful World of Walter. You guys are
Please go check them
amazing.
out in the description below. Give these guys some love. Go check out their channel. Subscribe if you haven't already.
Yes, and subscribe to us too.
Thank
Yes.
you guys for hosting.
Yeah, thanks for hosting.
Yeah, and guys, I guess we should just sign off. So,
Well, no, hang on.
Okay.
Smash the subscribe button for both channels. I got to get that in there.
Yeah. Well, and also hit the like button if you haven't already.
Yep.
So, and until next time, get out there, have some fun, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Flip side.
Bye.
Bye.